In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on January 12, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Minnesota versus Indiana. On Friday night, the spotlight shifts to the Big Ten as Minnesota embarks on a journey to face Indiana. The Golden Gophers, with a season record of 12-3 straight up and a Big Ten record of 3-1, narrowly clinched a 65-62 victory over Maryland at home last Sunday, defying the odds as minus 1.5 favorites. Conversely, the Hoosiers, standing at 11-5 straight up and 3-2 in the Big Ten, experienced a setback with a 66-57 loss to Rutgers on Tuesday night, entering the contest as +4 underdogs. The question looming over the matchup is whether the Gophers can sustain their impressive performance on the road. While my initial skepticism about their ability to defeat Maryland was met with them covering as 1.5-point favorites, it's crucial to scrutinize their lackluster 22-point first half showing in that game. On the other hand, I don't believe the Hoosiers are in a downward spiral. Despite the painful loss to Rutgers, credit must be given to the Scarlet Knights for their tenacious defensive display. Indiana's shooting woes against Rutgers may not persist, and the upcoming challenging schedule demands a swift rebound against Minnesota to avoid slipping in the conference standings. The history between these two teams includes only one meeting last season, where Indiana narrowly secured a 4-point victory, although Minnesota managed to cover the spread as +10.5 underdogs at home. This season, the Hoosiers hold a 7-9 against the spread record, while the Gophers boast an impressive 14-1 against the spread record, the best in the country. Although Minnesota has had limited exposure to away games recently, with just one road game since December 6th, they average over 13 points less on the road than at home. Assembly Hall, where the Hoosiers hold an 8-1 straight-up record this season, presents a formidable challenge for the surging Gophers. Minnesota's road performance in Big Ten play shows a 1-1 straight-up record, with a narrow win against Michigan and a loss to Ohio State, whom Indiana defeated at home in their recent encounter. Moreover, the Hoosiers hold a perfect 4-0 straight-up and against the spread record in the last 4 games against the Gophers at Assembly Hall. Entering the game on a 7-game winning streak, Minnesota currently stands second in the Big Ten standings, scoring an average of 79 points per game while allowing only 66 points on defense. In contrast, Indiana has stumbled in 2 of their last 3 games but has the advantage of playing at home in this matchup. While Minnesota's solid start is commendable, there is a lingering suspicion that they have benefited from a relatively easier schedule. Consequently, the Indiana Hoosiers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Rutgers game presented a warning sign for Indiana, and although Minnesota may not match their defensive prowess, they are poised to pose challenges at the rim. Indiana's struggles inside the paint, ranking outside the top 100 in points per possession at the rim, may lead to difficulties against the Gophers, who boast a 51% success rate at the rim and block 16.1% of opponent shot attempts. With limited opportunities for easy baskets inside, the Hoosiers are likely to face stretches of offensive struggles. Additionally, their subpar performance in open 3 rate, shooting just 33% from long distance, may compound their challenges. Minnesota's ability to hold their own on the boards, restricting second chance opportunities, and their disciplined approach to avoiding fouls further tilt the odds in their favor. Even if fouls were to occur, Indiana's subpar 66.7% free throw shooting percentage diminishes the likelihood of capitalizing on such opportunities. On the defensive end, the Hoosiers present a formidable challenge, limiting opponents to 53.2% shooting around the rim and blocking 14.3% of their rim attempts. However, Minnesota's anticipated regression in shooting, attributed to a weaker strength of schedule, may play into Indiana's favor. With a more challenging schedule and a defensive efficiency ranking of 80th, the Hoosiers are expected to be well prepared for a classic Big Ten showdown. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Rice versus South Florida. American Conference adversaries are poised for a Friday night showdown at the Ewing Center. The Rice Owls are gearing up to take on the South Florida Bulls in Tampa, setting the stage for the inaugural encounter between these two schools as conference rivals. The anticipation is palpable as the question looms: who will seize the initiative in this new biannual series? As the game approaches, Rice finds itself in a precarious position, having endured a 3-game losing streak. In their recent matchup against UTSA, Rice managed to score 82 points, but their defense faltered, conceding 89 points and resulting in a 7-point loss. Travis Eve emerged as the standout player for Rice, contributing 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. The season statistics for Rice reflect an average of 73 points scored, while their defense is relinquishing 75.5 points per game. Despite a decent offensive ranking at 214th overall, the Achilles heel for Rice remains their defense, underscoring the imperative for a significant improvement on that front. Travis Eve, with an average of 17 points per game and a 42.9% field goal percentage, stands out as Rice's leading player. In contrast, South Florida faced a tough challenge in their previous game against UAB, resulting in a 75-71 defeat. Chris Youngblood exhibited a strong performance, contributing 17 points and 5 rebounds. With 3 players scoring at least 10 points, South Florida showcased a balanced offensive effort. The season averages for South Florida stand at 76 points scored and 70 points conceded per game. Their offensive ranking at 154th emphasizes the need for a successful offensive performance early in the game. Chris Youngblood leads South Florida with an average of 15 points, shooting at 41.8% from the field and 33.3% from beyond the three-point line. Analyzing the statistical landscape, South Florida's dominance is evident. Averaging 76 points per game, they surpass Rice's 73 points per game, and their defensive prowess is apparent in allowing only 70 points per game compared to Rice's 75.5. The Bulls' defensive efficiency, with a field goal percentage defense of 42.6%, outshines Rice's 45.4%. Offensively, Chris Youngblood's 15 points per game and Jaden Reed's playmaking at 4.2 assists per game provide potent weapons to exploit Rice's defensive vulnerabilities. The Bulls' versatility in scoring, boasting a 33.1% three-point shooting percentage, coupled with KC and Pryor's 6.7 rebounds per game, positions them well against Rice's challenges. Playing at home, South Florida has demonstrated defensive prowess, limiting opponents to 68 points per game. In contrast, Rice's offense struggles on the road, averaging only 59.5 points per game. The shooting splits for Rice on the road paint a grim picture for the Owls. The Bulls are likely to dominate the turnover battle, and neither team is expected to enjoy a substantial rebounding advantage. South Florida's offense improves on the road, averaging 79 points per game, presenting an additional challenge for Rice. With Rice accumulating losses and displaying defensive weaknesses, their road struggles add another layer of difficulty. Allowing 80-plus points in their last 3 games doesn't bode well for a team on the road. Conversely, the USF Bulls boast a stronger defensive record and a commendable 7-2 record at home. The Bulls' 7-5-1 against the spread record outshines Rice's 5-9 against the spread, including failed covers in 5 of their last 8 games. The betting line appears reasonable, setting the stage for a compelling matchup. The Bulls' well-rounded defensive and offensive capabilities position them as clear favorites in this encounter. A blowout victory in Tampa seems likely, making the South Florida Bulls to win and cover the spread as favorites our full game side pick. Examining the team's adjusted tempo, South Florida ranks 110th, while Rice's is 240th, indicating a game with a moderate to slower pace. This deliberate tempo often results in fewer possessions and scoring opportunities. South Florida's robust defense is poised to limit Rice's chances, while Rice's defense, though less formidable, still poses a challenge for South Florida's scoring ambitions. Both teams exhibit modest three-point shooting percentages, suggesting that three-point bursts may not be a significant factor in this matchup. Considering these factors, the under appears to be a more probable outcome, supported by the adjusted tempo stats from Ken Palm. Thus, under the projected total stands as our full game total pick. Nebraska versus Iowa. On Friday night, a compelling matchup within the Big Ten unfolds as the Nebraska Cornhuskers embark on a journey to face the Iowa Hawkeyes. Nebraska recently achieved a remarkable upset, triumphing over the top-ranked Purdue with a convincing 88-72 victory on their home court, defying the odds as 7.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, Iowa secured a home win, defeating Rutgers 86-77 as 6.5-point favorites. Notably, Nebraska emerged victorious in both encounters against Iowa in the previous season. The clash is scheduled to take place at Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, with the game broadcasted on the Big Ten Network. Friday night brings forth a significant Big Ten rivalry as Nebraska confronts Iowa. Historically considered a lower-tier team in the conference, Nebraska has defied expectations this season, presenting a credible opportunity to participate in the NCAA tournament for the first time in a decade. Evaluating the metrics, both Ken Palm and Bart Torvik ranked Nebraska substantially higher than Iowa. However, the challenge lies in playing this game on Iowa's turf, where navigating a major conference road game is notoriously arduous. Nevertheless, a favorable inclination towards Nebraska arises, especially when considering the points offered. Despite the formidable home advantage for Iowa, Nebraska's overall prowess in this matchup positions them as the preferred choice. In the broader context of this matchup, Nebraska emerges as the superior team, contingent on their ability to overcome the challenges posed by the demanding road environment. Boasting a well-balanced roster with multiple players consistently contributing double-digit figures, Nebraska showcases proficiency in long-range shooting, a skill that played a pivotal role in their recent upset against Purdue. Additionally, Nebraska possesses size and excels in rebounding. Conversely, Iowa's strength lies in their pace of play, forcing opposing teams to defend against rapid transitions. However, this season's Iowa team lacks the talent compared to previous years, with their speed being their primary advantage. A noteworthy weakness for Iowa is their defense, ranked outside the top 100, providing Nebraska with an opportunity to maintain proximity on the scoreboard. Foreseen as a probable offensive spectacle culminating in a closely contested game. Nebraska, having recently conquered the nation's top-ranked team, finds themselves as underdogs with a 3.5-point handicap against an unranked opponent. This line might be more fitting if Nebraska had a dismal road record, yet they demonstrated their road prowess by defeating a formidable Kansas State team. The team's recent track record includes 5 wins in the last 6 games, with their sole loss handed by the same Wisconsin team that triumphed over Iowa. Nebraska's strength in interior play was evident in their victory against Purdue, where they outperformed Purdue's Zach Edey and dominated the paint. Facing Iowa's Crick, Nebraska's formidable defense poses a challenge for Iowa. Iowa's defensive struggles, ranked 119th in the nation, juxtapose Nebraska's 30th ranked offense, featuring 4 scorers consistently reaching double figures. A balanced offensive approach, with Tominaga and Williams excelling from the perimeter, coupled with Mast and Gary's physical play inside, fortify Nebraska's position. In the previous season, Nebraska secured a 2-0 straight up and against the spread record against Iowa. The current season showcases Nebraska with a commendable 10-6 against the spread record, contrasting with Iowa's 6-9 against the spread record. The forthcoming game poses a significant test for Nebraska's defense, which effectively subdued Purdue's second-ranked conference offense, limiting them to a 42.1% shooting performance. Nebraska's offensive strategy hinges on three-point shooting, an aspect where Iowa's defensive approach provides an opportunity for Nebraska to gain an advantage. Both teams exhibit parity in the paint and on the glass, with Iowa maintaining a 3-4 against the spread record in their last 7 games, while Nebraska boasts a 5-2 against the spread record in the same span. While oddsmakers may favor the more ostensibly talented Iowa Hawkeyes, standing at 8-1 straight up at home, the Nebraska Cornhuskers have proven their mettle throughout the season. As one of the premier defensive teams in Power 5 conferences, Nebraska's resilience makes them formidable opponents. Ranked within the top 100 in points allowed and top 30 in field goal percentage allowed, Nebraska presents a challenging matchup for any adversary this season. The recent 16-point triumph over the nation's top-ranked team adds further credence to the argument for Nebraska's competitiveness. Anticipating Nebraska's sustained momentum, the expectation is for them to keep the upcoming game close. The underdog role enhances Nebraska's value, making them a compelling choice to cover the spread. Hence, the Nebraska Cornhuskers to cover the spread as underdog stands as our full game side pick. In terms of playing style, Iowa operates at the 5th fastest tempo in the nation, particularly evident when playing at home in conference games. The strategy revolves around pushing the tempo to exploit perceived advantages. Nebraska's formidable interior presence, featuring post scorers Mast and Gary, becomes a focal point for Iowa to counteract by accelerating the game pace. Recent trends indicate Iowa's inclination towards high-scoring games, evident in their last 4 matchups where they surpassed the over. Contrarily, Nebraska's ability to match the pace is underscored by their success in the last 5 games, coupled with the scoring potential of 4 key contributors. This juxtaposition sets the stage for an intriguing matchup, characterized by a pair of defenses ranking in the bottom half of the Big Ten for scoring, and 2 offenses positioned within the top 6. In terms of tempo, Iowa boasts the 4th position nationally according to Ken Palm ratings, while Nebraska holds the 138th spot. However, Nebraska maintains the 30th ranked adjusted offense. Considering these dynamics, this season has witnessed the Hawkeyes surpassing 86 points in 8 games, while the Cornhuskers exceeded 80 points in 10 games, with the over-under set at 166, reflecting the anticipated fast-paced gameplay and offensive firepower of both teams. Opting for over the projected total stands as our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.